Hello and welcome back to my blog. I'm super excited that you decided to join me today. We are going to be talking about the next global issue that we can address in our classroom, which is education. So, um, just before I jump into the education and the right to education and how you will teach that to the students, I have a few notes just for teachers for you. Um, Education is not a privilege. That's the first thing that we need to understand as teachers is we need to teach everyone regardless of anything. So I know we have that one student that's like, ugh, I hate school, blah, 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 blah. You need to just be calm, deal with that respectfully. Yes, students may have had previous experiences in school that made them feel this way. Or maybe they just like it at home better, and that's perfectly fine. But you, as a teacher, need to respect that opinion, but you need to educate them. Okay? So I'm just going to jump right into it. Education is the 86th Amendment here in Canada, um, and it's a child right. It's a human right, education. So it's a law. It is the right to an education without discrimination. You must protect, respect, and fulfill the means to education for all of your students. Okay? So, here in Canada, we have free compulsory education from ages 6 to 14. So, no, parents do not need to put their children into kindergarten. However, when it comes to grade 1, those students need to be in the classroom learning from a facilitator such as you, such as the teacher, okay? So this also brings me to a really, really, really important point, which is school busing. So a lot of you at your schools will have school busing as a way to bring the students into the school from outer districts or other schools or whatever the circumstances may be. These school buses are not a privilege. This is the way that the child gets to you. This is the way that the child accesses the learning. Okay, so you need to keep in mind that when you're planning school trips, you need to ensure that all students have access to the transportation, the modes of transportation, because this is their learning and they have a right to it. So it's not a privilege. You cannot take a school bus away from a student. They cannot lose their school bus privileges because then you are denying them the right to an education. Okay, so when you're teaching this in a classroom, I really like to start, and I know you've seen this in my videos before, with a literacy tool. So I like to read them a book, or bring them a picture, or have them create an open brainstorm. So anything that you can model with them is always a wonderful tool to use when teaching a global issue. So, for example, we have a really great tool. It's called Book Boxes, and you can find it in the link that I pasted below. And basically, what you do with your students is you read them a book. So, we chose Malala's Magic Pencil, and if you don't know, Malala is a advocate. She's an education advocate for all girls and all students. And you can find more of her information below, obviously. But we read this book, Malala's Magic Pencil, and it's about a girl who goes to school, and one by one she sees all of her female classmates kind of leaving school because of what's going on in their politics system. But she has this magic pencil and she has a dream. So her dream is that with her pencil she can draw out the best education system that she can possible, allowing all children to go to school and learn just the way she wants to learn. Okay, so I read this book to my students, and while we were reading the book, they had the opportunity to draw or write some things that resonated with them. So in the middle of the table, there would be a box, and the student would have different colored sticky notes. So, for example, a blue sticky note would be what resonated with you for the story. Um, how did the story look? So, this is all about comprehension and retell and being able to write, put the sticky note in the box. For students that have processing, you can do it afterwards. There's tons of different ways that you can run this activity. So I put this activity below. It's perfect for grades probably 1 to 3, I would say. If you want to add a few more aspects into it, of course you can use it throughout all of the grades. So Books Boxes is a wonderful way to use. So I would read them the story, and then they would have their own magic pencil. So you as a teacher, it's always wonderful to provide your students with just that little extra touch. So giving them a pencil that says even just a regular pencil, but giving them a pencil that says you could do it or anything is always a nice personal touch to give to your students, and that allows them to remember the whole global issue in itself. Saying, my teacher gave me this, and she gave me the right to learn, and I have the right to learn, and I want to help people learn. Okay, so including this is always wonderful. Empowering students is really our goal as a teacher. Okay, so a couple last things. I have a few more resources below. I have one per grade. Some of them do overlap, and if you feel that your classroom would benefit from one of the other resources that I put for you and it's not in your grade, use it. Go ahead. It's all up to you as a teacher. So this education global issue is growing. And I hope it's shrinking, but we have to address this with our classroom because some of our students are from countries or can affiliate with countries that don't have education for all. And we need to educate our students on these global issues so that when they go out in the real world, we're creating the next generation. When they go out in the real world, they are being able to use what we taught them and the inspiration that we've given them to make a change. Okay? So this is why I'm really loving doing this global issues addressing in the classroom using literacy, because students benefit. We are just facilitators. Students are creating their own schemas and their own learning, and we're giving them power. We are allowing our students to go out and make something of everything we've given them. Okay, so I'm so glad that you joined me this week for our video. Please join me next video where we will be talking about our next issue, global issue, that is pollution, which is always a really fun or wonderful one to do in the classroom. Wonderful, that's a new word of the week. See you next week. Bye.